Yo, what's up guys, welcome to the channel, and today I'm back again for another Formula E video on Rfactor 2. So today I'm doing something a bit different. So obviously we've tried 100% races on Rfactor 2 and Formula E cars, and that never works because I always run out of energy. So I thought, you know what, instead of just do a whole lap like I would do instead of doing a 100% race, I thought I'd actually just do a 10-minute race. And this one, to make it more interesting, is actually going to be in the rain, since I have seen that some Formula E races are quite interesting in the rain, such as Paris last year and Hong Kong last year in qualifying. So I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. So yeah, we're in New York for this one, in the Venturi, and we're starting P6 just because I know my pace in the wet isn't that great because I have done a bit of practice, but we'll just see how it goes and jump straight into this then. So sadly, due to the fact that my recording software OBS didn't want to work well with me and my mic, it disconnected my mic once again, so we're just going to have to do a voiceover. So it's lights down, away we go here, and we have a pretty terrible start, not going to lie, but we brake pretty late into turn 1, and we aquaplane actually there, but somehow managed to catch it just before we go into the barrier. We actually go right around the outside, get us up to P4, so that's really 2 positions made, and then we try attempt on this guy here, and we just dove straight down the inside of him, and we actually make him stick up to P3. So that was a really nice start, and great start to begin with, as I kind of struggled in practice, doing some practice around this track in the wet against CAI, and I was crashing, I was making mistakes, I was just getting dominated by them even when I wasn't making mistakes. So to see that straight away, I was pretty happy, and I was just, well, I couldn't believe it. My raw commentary would have called it really, it would have been better, but sadly that got corrupted for whatever reason, I don't know why. But yeah, this track's kind of a weird one because it has many parts where you can just completely mess up, especially here, the hairpin. Look how slow I'm going super slow, right? I just tapped the barrier and again, and yeah, that ruins my chance of really P1 or P2 there already. They're already gone down the road. To be fair, I kind of knew that in this race I'd be mainly defending more than attacking, so that was my plan anyway, and since I'm in P3 now, I was pretty happy that I could do that, and I just kept pushing on. And after lap 1, it looks like around this corner we actually left them, so that was pretty nice, and I found out I was actually quicker than they are around that final corner there, and I actually managed to gap them enough for turn 1, because turn 1 was a massive struggle in the wet, and it's just such a hard track with these cars in the wet to do. And I literally have full respect for Formula E drivers, that these cars just aquaplane and understeer like hell in the wet. I mean, in the dry they understeer enough as it is, but in the wet it just makes it twice as hard. I couldn't believe it really that I was still P3. I thought I would have lost it by now and been like at least P6 and just dropped down from there. But we just kept pushing on and managed to survive a bit longer, and we'll just keep pushing and see if we can maybe catch P1 or P2 and just keep defending for P3. So right about now is where I started feeling a lot more pressure, because as you can see they're quite close to me. Through here they kind of had me on the edge a bit because they were braking super late, but obviously, unlike before, it's not a 100% race, so I didn't have to worry about saving power or anything. It is still going down, but it doesn't matter because it will easily make 10 minutes by going flat out. So I just kept pushing, and it was super difficult because they are still really close to me, but I just kept going and kept praying that I wouldn't mess up, because just brake just the tiniest little bit later and that's it. You go straight into that barrier, and that's it, even if it's the tiniest bit. And here again, through the hairpin, you'll watch as I completely just tap the barrier, the Michelin barrier. Once again, it's super difficult to make that hairpin. I think I only make it completely once, like without tapping any barriers, which is the final lap. So that kind of sums it up really. I think the race is about 7 laps or 8 laps or something, so it's not too long of a race, but I kept pushing on and come around the final corner again. And as I said before, I was much quicker than they are around the final corner, so that made me have my edge whilst I crossed the line and got another fairly quick lap, but still not catching the top 2. It was kind of a struggle still, but coming around turn 1 again, I managed to avoid the barrier once again. Turn 1 was another one that was pretty difficult in practice. Sadly I didn't record any practice to show what it was really like when I was first learning about it, but yeah, it was really difficult. Let's just say, as you can see, just aquaplane nearly into the barrier there as I messed up a little bit, but I kept pushing on and coming to another place where it's so tight where if you just brake too late you're going straight into the barrier. And now this barrier gives me massive nightmares because I kept going into it in practice. That grey barrier on the right there, I kept going into it, and it was so annoying because that's it, it's race over, everyone gets past you, then you even sometimes cause more crashes because people go into you, and it's such a pain. But I managed to keep going on, stay in my calm, and managed to keep making sure I didn't spin. But then yellow flags come out, and it's for this guy here who's a lap car who's been stuck here for a lap. So I get a bit confused because I thought he would be on the outside because he would reverse out, but he wasn't, and I started panicking. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna lose this podium. But luckily, I think anything, it helped me because I managed to reverse out luckily with a bit of contact obviously, and I've actually gapped the 4th place and below, so that was pretty decent actually. So thank you to whoever that was. I think it was Sebastian Boemi, I'm not too sure, I could be wrong. Actually I don't think it was because that was a Porsche, but whoever it was, thank you to him. But I just kept pushing on anyway, had a massive gap, obviously gapped them even more through the final corner. So yeah, I'll just keep pushing on, and nearly halfway through the race, well just about halfway through the race now, so yeah, I'll just keep pushing on and see if I can defend P3. I think 1st and 2nd at this point is out of my hands, but I'll keep going for this 3rd place at the moment. So just skipping to the final lap now as we start it, you'll see here that I just hit a bit of a puddle and brake a tiny bit later, which causes me to go a bit wider here in aquaplane, which luckily I just avoid the barrier into turn 1. And obviously, as I said before, I had many problems with that in practice, and then come through here as well, I get on another puddle just on this next corner here, and I go wide and just tap the barrier again and aquaplane. There was nothing I could have done there, it was just so bad. But this is where I started making a few more mistakes. I was so panicked that I'd lose my podium, which luckily so far I haven't yet, but you know, from what I've seen this lap at the moment, I've made 2 mistakes, which isn't ideal. So let's hope I don't make any more. So come through here, a torture part, which I actually successfully did. Probably one of the worst parts in the rain actually through there on this track with these cars, but I've succeeded that, so maybe I can still keep this P3 in. They have a little bit of a gap behind, so even if I do make a couple tiny mistakes, it should be alright. But usually in the wet, it's not tiny mistakes, it's a big crash or a spin, and that's it. So I come through the hairpin now. I think this is the only time that I actually completely get through the hairpin cleanly without tapping any barriers, which I'm not going to lie, it's nice. So and then yellow flags come out, but that's behind me, so that just gave me a bit more happiness because it made me have a bit more of a gap, because clearly they're all battling if yellow flags coming out. And I have one more corner to go. If I do not mess up this corner, then I will get my first Formula E podium. And I come on the final corner now, up to the straight, and this is where I realised I got P3. I was so happy. What a podium, what a race. So yeah, there you go. That was my first ever wet Formula E race, which actually resulted in a podium. So I'm really happy with that, and it was a really good race. So I'll just go through the grid here again, so you can have a look. So yeah, just confirm I did finish third. I was super happy with that. Also, as you can see on the little instant replay cam, that I did miss a pit lane, but I cut that out on the actual on-board footage. So if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like and subscribe. But thank you for watching, and goodbye.